athletes at this time, please hold up on your practice. With the exception of lane 7 and 8, your practice session is now over. Coaches and managers, there may be one coach or manager in the bowlers area at this point per country. Ladies, when your arrows appear, you may begin your tournament competition. On behalf of all of us at Sun Valley Lanes, I'd like to wish you all the best of luck and good bowling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome back to Bowl TV. This is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith, and we are live here at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. It is singles qualifying day at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships, and we've got one squad in the books already. Now, girls B squad taking the lanes. We've got a 79-player girls field this year at the World Youth Championships. Half the field bowled this morning on our A squad, and the other half bowling right now. We'll have 6 games of competition coming up here this afternoon, after which we will know the 4 semifinalists for tomorrow night, on the girls' side at least, as there's only 2 squads. All competition for girls singles will be done today. We'll get to the leaders after A squad here in just a minute as we get settled in. Boys A squad coming up later tonight, followed by 2 more squads tomorrow. Boys have 129 entries. And when they are done, we'll know the boys semifinalists. We'll have the semifinals tomorrow evening. 2 semifinal winners will meet for the gold medals here in 2016. So we appreciate everybody stopping in and joining us here on Bowl TV. We'll have this squad, hopefully in its entirety, uninterrupted, here from Lincoln, Nebraska. Thanks again for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat room. Let us know what you're thinking, where you're checking in from. We'll be happy to answer any of those questions for you. If you're curious about any of the details of the event, check out the information box underneath your video window. There's a link to the World Bowling website for this event, 2016 wyc.worldbowling.org. And you can see live scoring there. Follow your favorite players across the 32-lane house here at Sun Valley Lanes. You can also check out the standings from this morning's A squad. We even had a little bit of excitement with a perfect game. The 3rd one on the girls' side in tournament history. See if we can pull up those standings now. Should be updated through 6 games this morning, and they are. It is Sweden's Philippa Persson leading the way. 1390, 6-game total, an average of 231.67. She just finished ahead of Julia Bond, the local standout, junior Team USA member, and Nebraska Cornhusker here at the nearby University of Nebraska. Julia needed a double in the 10th frame to take the lead. Came up a little bit short after delivering the first strike. She is second at 1383. In 3rd place, Victoria Chin of Malaysia, 1314. In 4th place right now, Tracy C of Singapore, 1312. An average of 218.67. Again, at the end of this squad, the top 4 ladies will advance to the semifinals. Right now, that number is plus 112. So we'll keep you updated on how things are looking. Again, you can follow the live scoring and the standings, all that on the World Bowling website. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop those in the chat room. And you can also find the schedule for the week on that World Bowling page. 2016 at wyc.worldbowling.org. And according to the schedule, our next squad tonight, boys A squad, will begin at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we'll have back-to-back boys squads tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern and 2:30 Eastern, followed by the semifinals at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Finals will follow immediately, and we'll have a recap for you each day on bowl.com.
Matt, earlier today we talked about the collegiate ties that an event like the World Bowling Youth Championships carries with it. We've seen some of the top collegiate coaches and programs in attendance here talking to a few of these players, and in certain situations are actually already following some of their current players, and we have two of those young ladies on Bowl TV right now on our featured pairs. Representing Columbia is Laura Plazas, who bowls for the Wichita State Shocker program. Her head coach, Mark Lewis, in attendance. And for Puerto Rico, over on 17-18, She'll be stepping up in a moment, looking to make it 4 in a row. Giselle Pass bowls for Vanderbilt. So a few of these players who have already made the transition to continue to compete and also furthering their education as well. So definitely very cool. We'll see Laura stepping up on 16 right now. Also bowling for Columbia with Laura is Isabella Correa. She'll be up in a moment on 15. They're paired with 2 competitors from Australia, Katie Furzy and Emily Rigney. Joining Pass is Paulina Torres from Puerto Rico. Nice cover by Laura there. Thanks to Paul in the chat. Appreciate the extra information. Good to see Katie up here in a moment, looking for her first double in singles. Bowling for Central Missouri. Nice shot from Katie. Next on that double. Now Rigney looking to make it 5 in a row. We saw plenty of excitement in the opening squad, as you were already talking about, Matt, and we got a few more Sweden players here joining us as well. Annie Thorell and Katja Wegner. Of course, the excitement, Philippa Persson firing a 300 game, ended up sneaking out the top qualifying spot in A squad. Now she has to play the waiting game, see if there are 4 competitors on this squad who can top that score of 1390. Definitely some great crowd support, as you can hear, at Sun Valley Lanes. And just a reminder, if you're enjoying all this youth bowling today, there is even more opportunities to check out bowling on television tonight. Be sure to check out the under 12 title matches for the boys and girls at the 2016 Junior Gold Championships presented by Storm, Roto Group, and Master. It took place this weekend, and the first final match is set to air tonight on CBS Sports Network at 10 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to check your local listings for CBS Sports Network. But up until then, certainly feel free to keep us company here on Bowl TV. And he gets him to mix for her first strike of singles. These players and coaches have got to kind of digest what's happening here at Sun Valley Lanes on this 45-foot condition. WTBA roam pattern from today's earlier squad, so definitely some game plans already working. So they know what they want to see the ball do and saw how the pattern transitioned through 6 games with 4 in a pair. Now it's all about communication and execution.
Of course, Mr. Smith, at the same time, we're looking at each little 6-game sprint here. Also, the big picture is the all events and the Masters. And we'll definitely have to get clarification on the format of the Masters here in 2016. It sounded like at first conversation that 16 bowlers will qualify, or 24 bowlers, I'm sorry. We'll have to, again, clarify that mess because the top 8 should be getting a bye into the second round of the Masters. And then the rest of the folks will bowl for the chance to compete against them. So next time somebody from the tournament staff walks by, we'll get the clarification. Things sometimes change from year to year and how that's going to go. And in the past with 2 lane conditions, that was kind of an entertaining part of the event where one lane would feature one pattern and the other lane would feature the other, and they would bowl that way. So for the lane guys, a little bit wacky having the 2 lane machines going across the house from different directions and oiling, opposite lanes. And it's really made it interesting with equipment selections and things, and really having to think through things. But this year with only 1 lane condition, that takes all that out of play. Just the 45-foot WTBA roam pattern. So just one thing to worry about. A long week for sure, as we talked about. Some of these ladies, 79 in the field, 75 of them won't have anything to do tomorrow. They'll get a chance to watch the boys bowl, maybe get some more ideas, and maybe take a chance to enjoy what Lincoln, Nebraska has to offer. But only 4 of the ladies will be bowling tomorrow in the semifinals. Everybody else, I would say, not a much needed day off. It's been pretty laid back so far. A couple of practice days and 6 games of competition today. But as much as this event is about the World Championships and the gold medals, it's also a chance for these young players to experience other parts of the world. And if you talk to any bowlers who competed for their countries, it's as much about making friends from around the globe and taking in what the different sites have to offer, and even cuisine and different things like that, which you kind of maybe take for granted with the food court at the mall being that simple. But for a lot of these players, it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to represent their country and be out here on the world stage and making possibly lifelong friends, as well as making the next step. Some of these players will go on, or already do, compete for their adult teams, or have found success at the professional level. A couple on the boys side especially. Jesper Svensson from Sweden, a winner at the PBA Tournament of Champions this past year. And for Team USA, Anthony Simonson won the USBC Masters, become the youngest major champion at 19 years and 39 days, I believe was the final number there. So both of them, because of their ages able to compete here at the World Youth Championships. Everything age-based rather than, as we see here in the United States and USBC, where you have a defined youth membership. A little bit different around the world, so everything based on that age number. And those two gentlemen, despite their worldly success at the professional level, do fit in the age category, so they are here. We'll see them tomorrow, I believe. Again, one boy squad tonight, 2 tomorrow, but right now it's all about the ladies. And terrific shots like that from Torres on lane 17. Will be stationed here behind lanes 15, 16, 17, 18 for the duration of the event. Wire-to-wire coverage from Sun Valley Lanes. Right, some great local media coverage here in Lincoln this week so far. With a couple TV stations coming out, the local paper coming to chat with the bowlers. Definitely a big deal having the World Championships in a small town, definitely a sports town. And it doesn't hurt that 2 of the local collegiate stars for the bowling program at the University of Nebraska are competing this week. Jasmine Mason and Julia Bond both bowl for the Cornhuskers, have brought a national championship here to Lincoln, and now drawing some media attention as they represent Junior Team USA. Julia in second place after first squad this morning. Had a chance to take the lead and not necessarily solidify her chances, but certainly increase them. Came up a little bit short, so she'll be back this afternoon to see how things are shaking out.
Yeah, definitely a strange dynamic. I shouldn't say strange, but a fun waiting game for players on A squad, particularly those in the top 4, having to wait out to see how B squad does. And with this type of format, with just 6 games, sometimes it's just one big game is enough to kind of at least get you in the running and then put you over the edge. Giselle covers the single pin-up on 18. She's earned a few medals in international competition. Katie Furzy gets to 2:01 to start things off. Emily Rigney still has 2:37 out there. Trip 6 for Correa gets her to or trip 4, excuse me, gets her to 1:76. Looks like Junior Team USA's Jasmine Mason off to a strong start, 2:37, a few pairs to our right. Jasmine and Jordan Richard, the Team USA contingent for this squad. Wagner double, she can still get to 193. 225 for Rigney. Nice start. Plazas can get to 195 with 2 more.
So we saw a few good scores in the opening game on A squad, and then things settled down for a minute, and then game 3 and 4 got pretty exciting with the perfect game from Persson from Sweden, and then Julie Bond making a run at 300 as well. But 1390, it's a pretty big number. 230 average, 190 over if you're in the plus and minus scale, but some decent numbers here to start, so we will see if these young ladies perhaps learned a little something watching A squad and how the lanes transition. The Kegel ice oil, a little bit tricky at times, especially if you're not familiar with it. It's a little bit slicker than a lot of oils out there, and it's designed to hold up and a little bit longer, transition less. And sometimes if you've seen a pattern with a different type of oil, and maybe try to anticipate how it's going to break down and make the moves as quickly as possible, the ice can make it a little bit tricky. But they'll see it enough throughout the week here at Sun Valley Lanes that they'll be making those moves well ahead of time and have kind of a really good game plan going in. Singles, a little bit of a wild card. They had 1 day of official practice after the announcement of the pattern, and now learning squad by squad. And we'll see how things unfold from one squad to the next. Right now, players making the move. Game 2 coming up next. B squad girls singles qualifying here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. This is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith, and we're here with you all week long. Thanks for tuning in.
Game number 2 of 6 of B squad qualifying for the girls here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. It's now underway at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Matt Cannizzaro. Looks like we'll be joined by bowlers from Slovenia, Spain, Finland, Mexico, and Singapore. Junior Team USA's Jasmine Mason leads the way after one game, 237. So a little bit lower scoring pace out of the gates, but quite a few players in the 230s and the 220s. Sieka Fujiwara was one pin behind at 236. A few other 230s there. 17 players plus or better after one game. Lydia Serrano takes care of the spare. Representing Spain, it appears she is the only competitor from Spain on the girls' side, so that's why she is teamed up with Slovenia's Janja Kovacic. See, both the only players representing the country, so singles in all events, as well as masters, really the events they can make a run at medaling in. They'll still bowl doubles in team event, but just will not be able to really move up in the standings with a few less players. So those scores will count towards their 18-game total for all events, eventually determining who makes the Masters field. Stepping up for Finland is Vilma Salo on lane 16. Also on the pair, Rika Hakala. She'll be up on 15 in a moment. Quick question in the chat. We are in game number 2 of 6 for singles here. This is B squad. We've already had A squad this morning. You can go down into the description area below the video and you'll find a link to standing schedule, live scoring, and more. 2016 wyc.worldbowling.org will get you there. Nice shot there from Amabel Chua from Singapore. She's joined on the lanes right now by Charlene Lim. And representing Mexico, we have Paola Limon. And Sarah Pelayo will be up in a second. As we talked about earlier, Singapore has certainly made its waves on the PWBA Tour this year. Bernice Lim capturing the USBC Queen's title as an amateur. Sherry Tan winning the PWBA Storm Sacramento Open for her first PWBA title. And Wei Fen Nu also making a few TV shows along the way. She bowled unbelievable for the few weeks she was in the United States, so it'd be fun to get to see those ladies compete throughout the course of the tour, but their schedule had them go in different places, but we get to see members of the youth team here in Lincoln, Nebraska. question in the chat. The World Youth Championships is a every 2-year event. I'm not sure if they can, if they've announced when the tournament will be at in 2018, but we can check worldbowling.org and find out right now. 2018 World Youth Championships looks like it's going to stay in the United States. We're going to head up a little bit north to Detroit. So once again, worldbowling.org, your one-stop shop for all information. Concerning this event and all World Bowling events. We'll have our recaps on bowl.com later this evening.
Speaking of recaps, Mr. Smith, let's give a recap of the A squad standings. Folks, curious about how things unfolded. And we did have some excitement from Philippa Persson from Sweden, shooting 300 in game number 3, taking the lead at that point and not letting go. Leading away at 1390, a 231.67 average. 7 pins ahead of Junior Team USA's Julia Bond, who could have gotten to the top spot with a double in the 10th frame. Got the first one, then came up short, leaving a wobbly 2-pin. So Julia second at 1383. Victoria Chin of Malaysia third at 1314, and Tracy C from Singapore fourth at 1312. So right now the number to beat is 1312 plus 112 or a 218.67 average. And scores being updated game by game for B squad now. Overall average for A squad 191.29. Again, this 45-foot WTBA Rome oil pattern. And on B squad, through one game, your leader is Jasmine Mason from Junior Team USA. Seika Fujiwara from Japan, second at 236. Miranda Panis from Canada, 234. And a pair of Malaysians, fourth and fifth, 233, 227. So some pretty good numbers in game number 1. And game number 2, just past the halfway point. So we'll have the update for you as soon as game 3 gets underway here at Sun Valley Lanes. Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith. Wire-to-wire coverage of the 2016, going back in time here, 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. 2014 feels like yesterday. That was in Hong Kong, and now we are here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Well, even though I believe you were walking around towards the end of last squad when I had my own similar slip-up after spending so much time in Las Vegas, I thought we were here. Then I realized this isn't Las Vegas at all. This is Lincoln, Nebraska. So I'll let it slide. But speaking of 2014, Matt, I know that was a fun trip for you. Your first opportunity to head over to Hong Kong, and definitely exciting for the members of Junior Team USA who got to represent it. But just what are some of your favorite memories from making the trip and watching these kids compete.
Well, I think the first memory that comes to mind is being on what at the time was the longest flight offered from the United States. It might have been American Airlines' longest flight period, from Dallas direct into Hong Kong. So first time spending more than 5 or 6 hours on an airplane was definitely a learning experience, and got to travel alongside the world traveling Lucas Wiseman. So I got the tips, and of course he helped me out, and as we made our way to all the different places there. And so learned a little bit there, and then of course getting to the event, learning about IP addresses and different things when you travel abroad, all part of the learning process too. And then once competition got underway, it was just amazing to see all of the great young talent. Of course, I'd been to the World Championships prior, held in the United States. So 2009 was the World Women's Championships in Las Vegas, and then 2013 as well was the Combined Worlds, also in Las Vegas. So making the long trip, definitely cool to see a different culture, a different type of place, and just communicating with the folks inside the bowling center, and then of course the excitement, and Team USA showing no jet lag or any effects there, coming up big, winning the boys team title for the second consecutive year. I think that was the big one. The teams prepare to go out there, and the team gold medal is the ultimate goal. Everything else is just kind of preparation on the way, and things worked out for Team USA that week, taking home second gold in a row. Wesley Lowe also had a great week, shooting 300 and breaking the all events record. So that was also cool to be a part of, and just meeting all the great players and coaches and different folks from around the world, and just a great job that the Hong Kong 10-Pin Bowling Association did in hosting the event, welcoming players. Always some challenges with language barriers and culture barriers, and just different things that you don't necessarily, I would say, take for granted in your home country, but they're just the norm, and they're a little bit different. And of course, you want to be respectful of the other cultures and use it as a learning experience. And I think they're relatively understanding that you're not from there, and often willing to help you get comfortable and acclimated. And I think it's the total package, and as much for us as it is for the players, getting a chance to travel the world and see what things are all about, how they're different, how they're the same. And of course, bowling, as you said earlier, is the universal language. So even if you cannot communicate verbally with your opponents, it's a passion that you guys share out there. And you can see that, especially at the victory banquet at the end of the event, after the players have had 10 or 12 days to get to know each other a little bit, and get out there and celebrate what likely will be a lifetime memory. Some players, it's a once in a lifetime. And then for the fortunate few, young enough and talented enough to be able to represent their countries multiple times on this big stage, definitely the memories, and regardless of how you did, I think is something you'll never forget.
Yeah, certainly interesting to think for some of these players. This is the first World Championships, or first chance to compete internationally. For Philippa Person, this was her first youth championships, so pretty special moment to come out here, fire a perfect game. Then you can think of someone on the boys' side like Anthony Simonson, who's already got a USBC Masters title under his belt, but first time representing Team USA in any fashion. He's also on the adult team. He was moved up by head coach Rod Ross and assistant Kim Terrell-Curry. And now we'll get to see Anthony here in Nebraska. He's been pretty active at the center, watching the Team USA girls and cheering them on, occasionally serving the ball caddy role. We're hitting the home stretch of game number 2 of 6 here for B Squad qualifying for the girls at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. Bowlers from Mexico, Singapore, Spain, Slovenia, and Finland on our feature pair.
Well, Aaron, now that you you have graduated, well, I guess you were at the Senior World Championships last year, but here on the big stage for youth bowling, let's educate the folks at home about lane 18. And a great pickup there of the 457. The 4-5 in USBC terminology in the glossary is called the Aaron Smith.
Huh.
So the 4-5 with a bonus, but no problem there on lane 18. And
I should be taking notes. I can never get the 7 out on that one. So nice conversion for Sarah. Although often how I feel, I'd rather not have left it in the first place, but those things happen.
Well, sometimes on these longer patterns too, when you're moving left and the ball doesn't quite make it back, it's some crazy results like that.
Still seeing a variety of angles being played here as well in the early going. Players with a little more hand, closer to third arrow. For most of the ladies, and this will be the big disparity, is they just don't create quite the same amount of revs as the guys do. So I'm sure the guys on the 45-foot pattern, we'll see some of them already around 20 to start on the fresh here on this WTBA Roman condition. For the ladies playing a little bit further right. To be expected though.
Well, definitely a safer route. Straighter is greater, and I feel that that's it's cliche, but it's true. The less boards you can cover, get the ball in the pocket, the safer you'll be. I know based on the scores this morning, you're going to need to throw some strikes for sure, but you should expect nothing less at the World Championships.
Scoring pace not out of the roof, at least by us here on our featured pairs. Graham Bell can get to 205. the highest number we got up there. A few of our bowlers from Japan putting together okay games on 13 and 14. They're both plus after 2. Sika Fujiwara, who's sitting in second after game 1, has a chance to go 223 this game, so she's bowling fairly well here in the early stages of singles qualifying. Charlene Lim gets the 200 on the nose with 3 strikes, getting ready for her first shot on 17. Tough game for Sarah Pelayo from Mexico. Her max score drops down to 147. Vilma finishes with 171 for Finland. Lydia finishing things up for Spain. Nice shot there, max out 180. Everybody just about done with game number 2. We'll transition into game 3 in just a moment here on Bowl TV. So big thanks to everyone for joining us here in the early goings of the World Youth Championships. We're going to be here the entire time. So we got quite a few days of coverage here, so we appreciate you joining us, and hopefully you can swing on by a few other times throughout the week. It's definitely okay during the work week. We already talked to your boss. It's okay to watch Bowl TV while working, so we will condone it. We'll sign any notes if necessary. Dr. Cannizzaro will give you the prescription you need for all the great World Youth Championships coverage you need.
All right, Mr. Smith, and with that said, game number 2 comes to an end. Time for the game 2 station identification, and we'll get ready for game 3. Just want to thank World Bowling for having us here at the World Youth Championships, and of course, John Lucido, Sun Valley Lanes, and the Lincoln USBC Bowling Association. It's been a great couple days so far, and only going to get better. We'll have game 3 coming up for you in just a minute here on Bowl TV. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, bowling fans, game number 3 of 6 underway here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. This is B squad qualifying. We already had A squad in the books, so now it's a waiting game for folks in A squad, and for B squad, they know what they're chasing. Obviously, they know the numbers up top and realize they have some very talented players currently across this 32-lane center, and they're going to try and keep up with. Joined by players from Malaysia, Chinese Taipei, England, and the Philippines for game 3. representing Malaysia on lane 16. Nur Saizwani Sahar is actually leading for B squad with games of 227 and 267. She's at 494. Sieka Fujiwara from Japan and Jasmine Mason from the United States tied for second with 457. Miranda Panis from Canada, 437. Young Sung Lee from Korea, 421. Giselle Paz from Puerto Rico, 414. Amabel Chua from Singapore, 411. Emily Rigney from Australia, 406. Those are some of your top scores through 2. So once again, plus 112, the number to get into the top 4. You got to think, looking at the scores from Filippa Persson from Sweden and Julia Bond at plus 190 and 183, that they're going to be feeling a little bit more comfortable about their scores than Malaysia's Victoria Chin and Singapore's Tracy C, who are at 114 and 112 over respectively. So they already got some folks within range. But once again, anything can happen, you never know. So we'll have to wait and see as it all unfolds here live on Bold TV. We'll do our best to keep you up to date as those numbers continue to change and update. Kiara Ray getting ready to step up on lane 17 for England, working on 4 in a row. She is at 388 for 2. Game 3 was where we saw the 300 last round from Sweden's Persson. Helped catapult her into the lead, and then she never let it go after that. Correction, she did let it go, but then she got it back. So she was persistent in taking the top spot and put herself one spot closer to possibly taking home a medal. Joy Deval Santos stepping up on 18 for the Philippines. Left-hander gets her first strike. Oh, second strike, excuse me. First since the first frame. Junior Team USA, 1 pair to our left. So you'll get to see them to the left of your screen from time to time. Here's Emily Allen for Team England. Attacking the lanes from the left. Doesn't get that one up the hill though. Leaves the washout. Sahar still looking for her first strike. Covers the 10 pin. It's again early leader. Plus 94 through 2. Nora Liana Norkamal. Ready to step up on 15. Wang from Chinese Taipei looking at the 4.67. Just joined by Xiao Fen Peng. Just working on a double. The final player we have left to mention, stepping up on 17, B. Hernandez. Looking for 4 in a row. Just a reminder to everybody, if you would like to see how your favorite country or players are doing, you can go to the link in the description below the video here on YouTube, or if you just want to type it in, it's 2016 let's just start that over again. 2016 wyc.worldbowling.org. That is the official homepage of the World Youth Championships. And there you'll be able to find standings, which get updated pretty quickly here now that we got it going. Live scoring, schedule, player lists, equipment choices, and more. All can be found there, so be sure to check that out. Junior Team USA's Jasmine Mason working on 5 consecutive strikes after a spare in the first. She seems to be settling in nicely, perhaps a pair of local standouts. They punched their ticket to the medal round. As we talked about in A squad, Julia Bond and Jasmine Mason, members of the University of Nebraska bowling program right here in Lincoln. Julia already in great shape to potentially earn a spot in the medal round. Jasmine off to a strong start, led after game 1 for B squad. It's just a matter of if she can get enough to get into the top 4 between both squads when it's all said and done. Four straight 9 counts for Kiara Ray of England after 4 consecutive strikes. To start game number 3. We'll see if Sahar can get it going. Just 1 strike for her through 6 frames. 7 up on 16. Averaged nearly 250 for her first 2. Gets that one to hold line and connect. Andrew Frawley sighting on Bowl TV, helping coach the Australia teams represented this week and helping out, going back and picking up a ball from game 1. Nice shot from Nora. Back-to-back strikes on the right lane. Still trying to figure out the left lane, however. Junior Team USA's Jasmine Mason, 7 consecutive strikes after sparing the first. Once again, she was sitting second overall for B squad after 2 games at 457. So it'd be a big jump in the plus for Jasmine. England's Kiara Ray finally gets a strike after so many 9 counts. It was all over the pocket this game, but after that early 4-bagger, just could not get all 10 to cooperate, but still has the opportunity to get 2 more here to get to 235. Nice shot by Hernandez. 1 more gets her to 224. Sahara struck her last 2 times on lane 16, but will be heading in the wrong direction, and the plus minus after this game can max out at 193, and that's trouble. 5 count washout. Nice shot by Nora, 3 in a row to set up the 10th. will shoot 227. Garay finishes up with 234 for England. Her teammate Emily Allen with the spare can get to 193. 224 for Hernandez. Deval Santos, some struggles this game. Can convert the 5-pin and strike to get to 160. Chinese Taipei's Peng can max out 177 with the spare now. Sahar 172. Just has not been able to figure out 15 and 16 after the strong start. Makes a nice shot there though. Makes some momentum going into the final 3. Once again, these are 6-game blocks here for the World Bowling Youth Championships in each event. To determine who makes it to the medal round. Total of 4 in each event. In those matches. Or the semifinal matches, I should say, the losers end up taking home the bronze. So the bronze is shared. And then the match for gold and silver takes place right afterwards. Just 1-game matches. One pair to our left. Jasmine Mason continuing strong. She's going to be in the 260s, so very good chance she might move into the lead. Now that's Sahara struggled this game for B squad, so we'll see. That should put Jasmine right by the plus-minus number needed after A squad. She's plus 57, can add 68 onto that. So that's more than plus 120 for her 3 games so far. Can she keep it going? Will it be enough? We'll find out here live on Bowl TV. Yu Hui Wang can get to 156 with the spare conversion. Nora's been looking pretty good these past few frames. Made a move left. It's connected on the last 3. Trouble in the 10th. .267, the official tally for Jasmine Mason. That puts her at 724 for her 3-game total, so plus 124. So technically, Jasmine could just maintain the last 3 games and possibly be enough to get herself in the number. But what fun is that? She's going to be looking to add more pins on in games 4, 5, and 6. Of course, not only for singles competition, you got to think about all events and masters as well. So we're wrapping up game number 3. Getting ready for game 4 here at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. I'm Aaron Smith alongside Matt Cannizzaro. We'll be right back for game number 4 of 6 in B squad qualifying for the ladies here at the WYC. So we'll be right back. Don't go too far. More bowling coming up next. As game 4 gets underway, we're joined by competitors from Puerto Rico, Germany, Canada, and Colombia. So we've seen a few of these players already today. Puerto Rico and Colombia were on opposite pairs to start B squad. So similar to how we saw things unfold in A squad. Question in the chat about how you make it on to Team USA or Junior Team USA, and I'll be happy to field that question. I can't necessarily speak on behalf of other countries, but I know for Junior Team USA specifically, there's 2 opportunities for these competitors to earn a spot. One of them just took place in Indianapolis just a few days ago at the Junior Gold Championships presented by Storm Roto Group and Master. At the Junior Gold, a total of 6 players earned their spot for the following year. So in the case of the folks competing this past week in Indy, they made the team for 2017. And then the other 6 spots on Junior Team USA come courtesy of the USBC Team USA trials. So for Junior Gold, it's based off of 4 spots are based off of qualifying totals. So the top 4 age-eligible competitors at the end of qualifying are able to get their spot on the junior team for the following year. And then 2 additional bowlers earn their spots, once again, if age eligible, by qualifying into the championship round If someone happens to have already earned a spot and makes the championship round, that goes back to qualifying for the next age-eligible person. So, sounds more complicated than it is. I promise, nice and easy process. And then for team trials, kind of works in a similar fashion. A certain number of bowlers just earn their spot on the team through qualifying, and then some at-large selections are made for both the boys and the girls as well. So Jordan Richard earned her spot through Team USA trials earlier this year in 2016. I believe that's where Jasmine earned her selection as well. First time on Junior Team USA for Jordan Richard. Jasmine Mason spent a few years on the team. I believe this is year number 2.
Mr. Smith, things certainly moving along here at Sun Valley Lanes. We are past the halfway point of our second girls squad, and not too far from knowing who our 4th semifinalist will be, at least on the girls' side. Jasmine Mason doing work today. Aaron and not letting up here in game number 4, averaging 241 for her first 3 games, leading our B squad. Tomorrow for the semifinals, the top seed will take on number 4. 2 and 3 will battle, and the winners will meet for the gold medal. Jasmine, one pair to our right. You can probably see her ball going down lane 19 at least here in just a minute. She's got a double here. Already garnering some local media coverage. And finding her way into semifinals. Might get her picture in the paper. A little airtime on the local news. Overall leader, Philippa Person, averaged just 231. So Jasmine, 10 pins ahead of that pace already at the halfway point. Over that number, Jasmine Mason, mentioned her. She's averaging 241. She's at plus 124. And Seika Fujiwara from Japan is plus 89. And Sahar from Malaysia, plus 64. And Miranda Panis from Canada, plus 46. So 3 players ahead of that 4th place average. Still a long way to go. 2.5 games. A lot of transition and challenges over the next couple hours. Great shot from Torres there on lane 16, but unable to notch her first strike here in game 4. And these bowlers from Puerto Rico are extremely lucky to be coached by Jerry Edwards, longtime Team USA coach, one of the best in the business. Learned alongside Fred Borden. And remember traveling to the World Cup in 2008 with Jerry Edwards when she was still with Team USA. And just a great experience there, and so much knowledge that she's able to share with these players. We talked earlier about some of the coaches from the United States, just a wealth of coaching talent through the USBC coaching program. And of course, just one head coach for Team USA, so that is Rod Ross. And the rest of those talented coaches putting their experience to use for collegiate programs in other countries around the world. And we see the world really catching up.
Giselle Paz looking at the big 4 here. And Paulina Torres from Puerto Rico, their second time on Bowl TV. They're joined by Germany on 15 and 16. Gina Maria Merkel getting ready to step up on 16. She's joined by Saskia Maltz. For Canada, Miranda Panis getting ready to step up. We've said her name a few times already. Got off to a good start, still hanging around the top scores of B squad, but some early struggles here in game 4. Pretty good shot there, runs a bit high, leaves the 4. She's joined by Maud Diemers.
Boss back on track there. 4 out of 5 here in our featured pair. Again, continued coverage of the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. This is Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith. Lucas Wiseman, the former voice of many Bowl TV events, has moved on to a brand new career. So now you're stuck with us, at least for the next week or so here.
It's okay, they can turn the sound off if they need to.
appreciate all the kind folks in the chat room not giving us too hard of a time with some of the name pronunciations. But again, if you know that is absolutely not correct and you'd like to share with us or have one of the representatives from your country come by and let us know, we are more than welcoming of advice. Curious about the standings for the event or any of the details, you can check in the information box below your video screen and you'll see a link to the 2016 WYC website, live scoring, game-by-game standings, and all kinds of other good information there for you. And we'll have a recap tonight on bowl.com of all today's action.
Let's see, we're already getting corrected since we said it, and once again, we're fine by that. It's Mode, not Maud Deemers, so my apologies, Mode, and thank you, Sean.
So sometimes the Americanized version of different names pronounced completely different here.
Mode Demers. Gonna get this right. Stepping up on lane 18, Mode Demers from Canada. Only took like 6 times, but I think I got it. Let me know, guys.
It's all right. We'll see her and many of these players many times throughout the week. We still got the singles, semifinals, and finals coming up tomorrow. And then, of course, doubles and team competition, followed by the exciting conclusion for the week, the Match Play Masters.
All right, looks like I got it right. I got emojis, some of Matt's favorite things. So thanks, Sean. Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it. I made a note. We had these real nifty World Youth Championships programs with the list of all the competitors.
I bet you thought that was an easy one too, didn't you? Sometimes the easy ones are the trickiest.
I know, that one caught me off guard, but now I got it noted in there just the way it's up there, so appreciate everyone. T. Snides 96 as well. I want to leave him out, or her, I'm not sure, but do appreciate the help. It's kind of funny on the correction. I was telling you this story the other day, Matt, but I was covering the World Senior Championships back in August of last year in Las Vegas, and one of the coaches for Scotland came up to me after one of the broadcasts. I think it actually might have been at the banquet. And one of the players, I had not gotten the name correctly, and someone in the chat room had let me know similar to Mode, the correct pronunciation, kind of spelled it out like that, and so I got it right after that, and he proceeded to tell me that the person who gave me that information was his daughter, and now his daughter's bowling here this week, so I ran into him just walking the streets of downtown Lincoln, and it's cool to catch up and see a familiar face. But yeah, so we certainly do appreciate the help. Quick question in the chat about Jasmine Mason. She started off with 4 in a row, followed with a 6 spare, an open in frame number 6, and a spare in the 7th. So 133 in the 6th, spare in the 7th. This is game 4 of 6.
Mr. Smith, it appears you've made all of Canada happy now. And we've got word from their official representative, Brittany Crawford, checking in. We met her again at the 2014 World Youth Championships along with the Fa family. We had a good conversation on the bus back to the hotel one day, and now Brittany checking in on how her fellow country folks are doing, and we do appreciate the support from all countries on all continents. Just to turn back the clock one more time, Laura Plazas, we've mentioned her a few times today. She was also part of the 2014 event in Hong Kong, earned a bronze medal in doubles with Tatiana Munoz. So back at it, trying to improve on that performance and follow in the footsteps of the many successful Colombian players that we see nowadays on the PWBA Tour, Professional Women's Bowling Association, progressing through events like this onto the adult ranks and now the professional ranks. So some great bowling lineage there for Colombia.
Saskia Malz stepping up on 4 in a row, lane 16. Looking to make it a 5th in a row, set up the foundation frame. Right around 4th arrow. Gets in the mix for 5 in a row. Pause is also migrating pretty far to the left. Right around a similar spot as Malls. Delivers a strike, but looking for a double somewhere in there. A few folks are curious. Jasmine Mason, she's up in the 9th frame. You can actually see her on 19. Left a 3-pin in the 9th. She can convert it, strike out for 220.
Definitely put her in good position with 2 games to go. She's 124 over after 3. Needs to get to 190 to lead. Doesn't need that much to get into the top 4, but certainly being a #1 seed is good for confidence. Number right now, 1312, plus 112. Not a betting man, but I'm going to guess that that probably wouldn't be enough to hang on to a spot in the top 4. I don't know that anybody's completely safe.
We're safe. We're surrounded by stanchions and 6 feet up in the air, so I feel we're actually safe. But we're not bowling though, so. Miranda looking to make it 4 in a row for Canada here on 17 after a few miscues in the first half of game 4. Doesn't get that one up the hill, leaves the bucket. Miranda pretty consistent so far. 234, 203, 209. Through 3, 4, 646. Final shot for Saskia Malls. Nice 235. Get her to plus 43 for 4. So we wrap up on 15 and 16. 10th frame to go. 17 and 18. Games 5 and 6. Before we know our top 4 for the medal round here in the girls division at the 2016 WYC. If you're into hashtagging, like Matt Cannizzaro, hashtag 2016WYC. It's even written there, it's on the screen. So be sure to let folks know, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, MySpace if you got it still. That was more my time, I guess. But yes, please let folks know on social media that you're watching all these great competitors. Social interaction, a big step forward in helping to get bowling into the Olympics as well. Got to showcase these great youth competitors. So feel free to get the word out.
Also going on this week in South Florida, the Tournament of the Americas. Representatives from North, Central, and South America, as well as the Caribbean, doing their thing at Strikers Family Sports Center in Fort Lauderdale. Also coming up in the next few weeks, headed to Colombia for the PABCON Adult Championships, Pan American Bowling Confederation. Looking forward to that event, and then coming up down the line, the 2016 Cubica AMF World Cup in Shanghai, China. So a lot of great international competitions, and you're mixing in between the Professional Women's Bowling Association with a great international representation, along with the PBA Tour and the World Series of Bowling coming up in the fall. Just a lot of great events for all these bowlers to prepare for and look forward to. And we're glad to bring you as many as we can here on Bowl TV, and of course our other channel, Extra Frame, which we use for the PWBA. We'll go head from here to the U.S. Women's Open, a major on the PWBA Tour in the Chicago area after this. right, just like that, Game 5 underway here at Sun Valley Lanes. Terrific 32-lane bowling center here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And what a great downtown area here for the players to enjoy. Walking around, great food and drinks. Even a movie theater, I believe, right there by the hotels. So these young ladies will be headed out here in about an hour, and then we'll make way for the first squad of boys singles competition coming up this evening. 2 more games to go, and we'll know our top 4 for tomorrow's girls singles semifinals. We'll have complete standings here. Looks like Jasmine Mason from Junior Team USA leading away at 9:33, and the screen just switched on us, so we'll get you that next time it comes back around. But our leader from Sweden, Persson, at 1390, plus 190. So Jasmine on pace to get there to the top spot, but the goal right now is to make the top 4, as all pins go away at that point, and then the top seed will take on number 4. 2 and 3 will face off in the semifinals. The 2 winners then will battle for the gold medal. Semifinal non-winners will take home bronze medals. This game, representatives from Mexico and Japan on lanes 15 and 16. And then Macau, China, and Finland on our right, lanes 17 and 18. 79 competitors in the girls field. We'll bowl 6 games today, and we'll cut things down to the top 4 for tomorrow night's semifinals. That's simple. WTBA Rome pattern. A challenging combination for players from 37 countries. All right, squad leader Jasmine Mason, 933, followed by Seika Fujiwara, 889. Saskia Mals, 843. Young Sung Lee, 832. And it's Sahar from Malaysia at 825, I believe was her number.
It's a little interesting, Mr. Canizar. Seems like scoring pace kind of calmed down a little bit here in B squad. So Mason definitely in a good position to work herself into the medal round.
Well, we did see some big scores to start. A bunch of 230s and 220s, and things have calmed down quite a bit. I don't know that Julia Bond should be breathing a sigh of relief just yet at 1383. But, well, getting closer and closer to potentially 2 Junior Team USA players in the semifinals. Question is, will they end up battling each other? Or can we set up an all USA final? We'll see.
Yeah, looking at the scores, Fujiwara plus 89, definitely well within range with 2 to go. So those definitely look like the two you can get there. Mals from Germany plus a 43. We just saw her on Bowl TV. She's gonna have to do some work in those final 2 games to add another plus 70 or so on top of her score to get into the running there.
Well, we've seen wilder things. Some great scores this morning and a little bit of a roller coaster this afternoon. Back in 2014, it was a sweep for Korea in singles.
So once again, we got a few familiar faces already on this pair, Mexico and Finland. Already joined us here on Bowl TV. But since we were just talking about her, Seika Fujiwara will be stepping up next on 16 after her teammate Shion Izumuni attempts to pick up the washout after 3 strikes in a row. Big backswing. Doesn't quite get the head pin thin enough to kick it over.
And Cheyenne also a returning veteran here at the World Youth Championships, bowled for a doubles gold medal in 2014. Is Mune and Kana Shimoide earned the silver medal, fell to Sarah Loker and Liz Culkin of the United States. However, Japan did bounce back to win the team gold medal, which is always a pretty sizable accomplishment, the one that these bowlers dream of at these types of events. And Izumune also went on to claim the all events gold medal, so a polished competitor here on our live stream pair.
That's why we bring you along, Matt Canzaro. You're a wealth of information.
Well, Japan with a one-pin victory in the team event, so a dramatic finish after the doubles disappointment, 784 to 783 over Sweden. So if you want to go back and watch any of that, it's no doubt in the Bowl TV archives. Some pretty great moments from the last World Youth Championships in 2014, all part of the live stream era. And Cheyenne, second, winning a silver medal in singles in 2014, so looking to improve on that. So Korea and Japan had a great performance in 2014, and we'll see who rises to the top here in Lincoln, Nebraska in 2016. And that was on the girls' side. On the boys' side, Team USA and Sweden were the top teams to beat. So we'll see the boys coming up later tonight. First squad of boys singles will hit the lanes. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. local time here, so if you're nearby, come check it out in person.
Just a few bucks. Check out international competition. It's a lot of entertainment for $6. Also the opportunity to buy an all-week pass if you are in the Lincoln area and willing to check it out. I believe that cost was $50 for the entire week. Stepping up for Macau, China is Veronica Diaz de Sos. Working on 3 in a row, hoping to make it 4. Kind of an interesting dynamic for the Macau team. We saw 2 of the players last round flying the helicopter style, but their players in this round, the more traditional sense we're used to seeing in the United States at least. So that's interesting. I'm kind of curious to find out more. Definitely an interesting dynamic when it gets to the team portion of the event, but that style certainly has worked in the past. Let's help them find success, and we'll see if they can do so again here in 2016.
Final frames coming up here on 17 and 18. Again, we'll be here all week long behind lanes 15 and 16, 17 and 18. Those will be our featured pairs, and the finals will be on those pairs as well of each event. Scores dipping down a little bit here late in our final girls singles qualifying squad. Jasmine Mason averaging 233 to lead the way at 933. Seika Fujiwara here for Japan is second at 889. That is plus 89, and the number to get into the top four right now after A squad is plus 112. So Mason not necessarily comfortable, but in good position. The rest of the folks gonna need some strikes here in games 5 and 6. This is game 5 coming to a close. The finale right around the corner. After that, we'll know our top four for tomorrow's semifinals. Fujiwara with the strike there on lane 15, still can get to 239 this game. Jasmine Mason and Team USA down on the far side on the high end, so you can follow along on the live score, and that's what I'm doing right now. Check in and see how she's doing. And bowling well here in game number 5 at an early open, but now 3 strikes in frames 6, 7, and 8. Still can get to 236. Top performers on A squad again. Philippa Persson from Sweden over 300 game on the way to the lead at 1390. Julie Bond came up just short, is second at 1383. Victoria Chin from Malaysia, 1314, and Tracy C from Singapore sweating it out right now at 1312. So that is probably not going to be enough. We'll know, or have a little bit clearer picture after game 5 is complete. And we'll do our usual score watch. Get Aaron Smith a Mountain Dew and get ready for the final game. And of course, a whole nother squad coming up this evening. All right, final frame underway. Izmune finishes with 210. And I was mistaken on my mathematical calculations there, Mr. Smith.
Uh-oh.
For Fujiwara. I was giving her an extra frame. She only can get to 209.
That's correct. There's a nice shameless plug for extra frame, though, so good job.
I see what you did there.
Extra frame, our partner in crime, if you will, in hosting the PWBA event. So, Ball TV here on YouTube and extra frame for the PWBA on their network. Been an exciting summer for bowling.
Well, if you caught that on lane 16, not an exciting finish for Fujiwara. Needing every bit of that 209 to stay in the running here. Leaves the 510 and finishes with 177. So losing the potential for 32 more pins there. Huge pins. She was at 889 plus 89. Needed another 25 or 30 in the plus for the last 2 games, and now we'll need a huge finish to have a chance at the top 4.
Yeah, that definitely makes it tough. 209 gets her right around 100 or so, or plus 100. Gotta figure Jasmine Mason's gonna be good to stay in the top 4. And now she'll have her work cut out for her. Figure you got have to at least get to plus 114, so that's 250s now instead of possibly being 2 teens or 220. So, but we'll find out that and much, much more. Game 6 coming up next year at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. Big thanks to everyone for joining us throughout the day. We appreciate it. We're not done yet after this, even though we'll know our top 4 for the girls' side. We'll have A squad qualifying coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern for the first squad of boys qualifying. A squad hitting the lanes. They'll have 2 more tomorrow, and then we'll have our medal round right here on Bowl TV. We're at Sun Valley Lanes in Lincoln, Nebraska. Big thanks to John Lucido and his tremendous staff for helping us out this week. And of course, to World Bowling for asking us to be a part of this event. A big thanks to them and all they do to help build a future for the sport. So as we wait for Game 6, everyone hang tight. We'll be right back here on Bowl TV. The 6th and final game of B Squad qualifying now underway. We're joined by competitors from Chinese Taipei, Scotland, Slovakia, and the Philippines. Jasmine Mason plus 131 in the number right now. Just needs to not run into a disaster of a game, essentially.
Okay, but we'll know pretty quickly if we're going to have a new leader or not.
She would need a big game, plus 131, so
259.
259, so yeah, certainly goes quick.
I think mathematically, she's the only one with the chance. All right, so mathematically, Jasmine only one with a chance at the lead. Meanwhile, the top 4 is still a possibility. Didn't mean to confuse Mr. Smith there.
Confusion was everywhere.
We'll be doing the math as best we can from here.
The way it looks, a total of 7 players can still get to plus 112 or better. Technically 8, but we're not seeing plus 112 make the cut. More than likely 114 probably in the same boat. So next closest was plus 183. So it's essentially kind of a race for that final spot at plus 114. Can someone get there? So at the moment, Tracy C out of the cut. Victoria Chin of Malaysia was in 3rd after A squad at plus 114. So Julia Bond and Filippa Persson from Sweden in good position. Jasmine Mason still has a chance to lead qualifying. We need a big game.
Well, she starts with a double. She's well on her way to the top 4. Needs 259, 260 to grab the top spot. She can get to number 1. Means she will not have to bowl her teammate, Julia Bond, potentially, as things look right now.
On our featured pairs, a few familiar faces from earlier. Our competitors from the Philippines and Chinese Taipei. So some new bowlers courtesy of Scotland and Slovakia. Laura Murphy up on lane 18 for Scotland, looking to convert the 2-4-5. Fortunately, chops it. She's joined by Naomi Lawson from Scotland. Slovakia only brought 2 players with them, so we're getting to see both of them. This is Kristina Sremkova stepping up right now, looking to get back on track after a few opens to start. Gets them to mix up. She's joined by Petra Stankova. Got to see Wang and Peng from Taipei a little bit earlier today, along with Hernandez and Deval Santos. Matt Canizaro feverishly doing math at the moment, trying to figure out what everyone would need to sneak into that fourth and final spot. Once again, all speculation on our part because that's what we do best. But we're going out on a limb and saying Bond and Mason in very good shape.
Jasmine Mason just left the big four down on lane 9 and 10. So she cannot miss again if she's going to be the leader. And mathematically, if she does not take the lead, she would end up having to bowl her teammate.
The potential definitely there.
Julia Bond, just based on the numbers. I mean, right now our second high player on this squad is plus 66. So even 300 would just put her at 1366. And that is shy of Julia Bond. So if Mason does not take the lead, then the best she could do, obviously, is end up in second place and take on Bond in the semifinals. She has a 50 in the third, so she will need to go off the sheet to grab that top spot.
Nice cover by Murphy, taking care of the 310. Petra unable to get the 8 to kick out. Creating a little bit of angle there from the left side. And her best Matt Cannizzaro impersonation. Wheelin' dealin' southpaw in the booth with me.
Aaron, the picture becoming much clearer. Jasmine Mason cannot get to the top spot now. And we've already eliminated 3 players mathematically from this squad. At least by my unofficial and amateur calculations. Definitely did not expect this turn of events with the start that we had to this squad earlier today. Hot start, fizzled out a little bit.
Yeah, Mason was really the only one who kind of kept it going, stayed consistent. It's always nice when you put yourself in position to essentially just go par in the back half of the block to earn a spot, you know, on paper at least. You never know what's going to happen with the other competitors out here. Another 30+ folks on the lanes. But yeah, the big start definitely key, and put it on cruise control after that. So yeah, certainly a interesting dynamic though if it holds up. Whichever way, if they're 2-3. Not only Team USA teammates, but University of Nebraska teammates. That might generate some interest from the local media as well. A few medals for Cornhuskers, and that would give one of them the potential of a gold medal, regardless of who won. So we have storylines. Jasmine excited to have her father here in attendance this week. First time he's been able to watch her bowl an event as a junior Team USA member. Jasmine went to PAPCON last year. Don't recall off the top of my head where that was at for the youth players, but here in the States, her father was able to make it, so pretty excited about that. And of course, to represent her country here on the lanes.
All right, Aaron Smith, so based on my calculations, the top 2 seeds are secure. Philippa Person, 1390, and Julia Bond, 1383. Best Jasmine Mason can do is 1371. And we've just got our eye on lanes 7 and 8. Fujiwara still with the mathematical possibility of the top 4. Not sure what type of announcement or recognition we'll have after this squad of our top 4 players. They will return tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 local time for the semifinals. Finals will follow immediately after. The 2 semifinal winners will battle for the gold medal. Semifinal losers will take home bronze medals. Tracy C. will be eliminated from medal contention. Final game of qualifying here for the girls singles competition 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships. We are minutes away from knowing our top 4. All will earn medals. Fujiwara for Japan. Still get to 13:21. 4 frames to go. It's going to be a tough task. Should be the only other bowler with a chance at the top 4 based on my math.
Doesn't leave a whole lot of room, but as long as it's possible on paper, that's all you can ask for at this stage of qualifying. Now it's up to the player to do what they did to get here at this point. So, you know, they can make the shots, just can they put it together for a late string of strikes and sneak in a trip to the medal round.
Jasmine Mason still can get to 240 this game. Looks like, barring disaster, she will be number 3 going into the semifinals.
Naomi Lawson from Scotland putting together a nice game here. Delivers in the 8th frame. Looks like it's 247 with a few more strikes. Definitely some struggles on 15 and 16. Not a lot of strikes up there, a few opens, but
remember too, every pin knocked down today go towards the all events totals. So all events medals on the line, as well as a spot in Masters match play. So we'll get the details on the Masters and talk about that a little bit later on tonight's boys broadcast. Definitely don't want to give any pins away. Long week of singles, doubles, and team competition.
Final few shots here, Matt. Just about all wrapped up on our feature pairs. Once again, for these competitors, they're going to have a full day off from competition. Will not be advancing to the medal round later tomorrow evening. The rest of the competition will be in the boys division, so these players will have the opportunity to rest up, possibly enjoy the finer things of Lincoln, Nebraska. Very cool downtown area. Enjoyed it the past few days. And get ready for doubles. That'll be coming up next on Thursday. Start qualifying for that. It'll work exactly the same way. Same thing for teams, 6 games in each. So all events and masters determined off 18 game totals.
All right, Aaron Smith, it looks like mathematically we have our top 4 determined. Philippa Person will be the top seed at 1390. Julie Bond, number 2, at 1383. Jasmine Mason about to wrap up the number 3 spot, and Victoria Chin will be at number 4 at 1314, hanging on. So 3 of the top 4 from earlier today. Again, this is completely unofficial, but we'll get the standings here as they finish, actually, on our monitors very quick. This cubic AMF scoring system is always a work in progress and improvement. And John Lucido here at Sun Valley Lanes, an expert in that area. And as they get done, they're updated just above our heads. So, at least for this squad. So, if they can, I mean, we can figure that out. We're relatively intelligent young men, or youngish, formerly young men. But we know the scores from the earlier squad, and we can obviously see what's happening on this squad. Jasmine Mason is in her 10th frame. She got the first hit. She can get to 219. It's not going to be enough to pass her teammate, but it is more than enough to stay ahead of Victoria Chin.
We caught Victoria on Bowl TV during A squad. Very impressive to watch. Throws the ball fantastic. So we're in for a treat for that semifinal round. Those are 4 extremely talented competitors. Looking forward to see how that shakes up for the U.S., they already have someone in the title match. Just a matter of who.
Always nice to know you're going to be bowling for the gold medal, and hopefully our assessment of the process is correct. I'd be incredibly embarrassed if it wasn't as simple as it sounds. But we will confirm a few things here in just a few moments as Jasmine Mason wraps things up down on 9 and 10. She finishes with 209. She gets to 1340. As we wrap things up here on this girls squad, we'll go catch up with Julia Bond, and already talked to Philippa Person earlier, so we'll get the recap going and wait to see what the boys have in store for us tonight. You can watch it here live on Bowl TV.
Just a final few shots left.
So Aaron, it's the middle of the night right now. It's the midnight in Stockholm, Sweden, and 6 a.m. in Singapore for perspective. So numbers on Bowl TV a little bit lower here at this time of day, but totally understandable as those folks will be, some of them will be waking up here pretty soon as we get ready for the boys squad, and we look forward to everybody sticking with us and those joining us for the next block. Again, that's coming up this evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. About 2 hours from now, we will be back on the air. I'm sorry, 1 hour from now. Getting my time zones all mixed up. 6 p.m. here locally. Eric Pearson will redress the lanes, and we will get going. Jasmine Mason officially in the books now at 1340. Has found her way into the top 4.
Bowling has come to a close. Still 1 or 2 pairs left, but nowhere near us. So for right now, we're making the unofficial call. Philippa Persson from Sweden, Julia Bond from the United States, Jasmine Mason from the US, and Victoria Chin from Malaysia, your top 4 unofficially for the medal round tomorrow at the 2016 World Bowling Youth Championships Girls Singles event. So with that in mind, Mr. Canizaro, I think we're going to turn the cameras off for a few seconds, let them get some rest, and fuel up for boys singles coming up in about an hour.
All right, folks, that is going to do it from Sun Valley Lanes. Girls singles qualifying in the books. We'll be back with you in just over an hour. Appreciate everybody joining us. That's the news for now, and we'll see you on the lanes.